I'm going to introduce you.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yes, we'll do the full works.
Okay.
The curtain has parted. I'm in the middle of the stage, ready to bring my guest on. So, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe, wherever you are in the world, on whatever device you are listening to this and watching it. You might be on Facebook, you might be on YouTube, you might be just in, and the preferable bit is to be on the site. But the even better bit is to press the gold join meeting button and join us in the room. But it doesn't matter, we don't care. Because tonight I've got someone I used to look up to. I mainly used to look up to him because he was on a pair of stilts, juggling or something similar. And then he'd get down, he'd work on ground level. He'd come down to my level and he'd be running little circus workshops. And I think the last time I saw him in that guise was at Headingham Castle in Essex. And he was not a fool, what do you call them? A jester. I think you were a jester at that point. The jester and a fool, maybe you please yourselves. You please yourselves. But it is, yeah, it's a little of that. But but now he's got off his giraffe unicycle. He wasn't very steady on it anyway. He tells me. I didn't notice. I always admired anyone who could ride around on one wheel, let alone 6 feet up in the air. And he's put down his clubs. He's taken the fire out of his mouth. And he's dedicating his life to the pursuit of stories, whether written or spoken. So with his enormous pleasure that I wish to introduce to the world my good friend, Peter Optical. A round of applause.
Good evening to you, one and all. Very nice to see you all up there. And you're on my little thing there. So I could press buttons and everything else. Anyway, it's time for stories. And, well, I normally introduce myself to people I don't know. And there are a few out there I don't know, but I'm pleased to meet you anyway. And I normally tell them that, well, I myself have been telling stories since I was, I don't know, you can't see, but so high. My parents called it lying. And I turned it into an art form, I think. Anyway, to start off, I thought I'd tell you, I'm going to tell stories that obviously I know quite well, and those that I've converted or those that I've made up myself or whatever. So we'll just see how it runs along, right? And the first story I'd like to share with you, and a lot of people here in Essex will have seen it before, or have seen me before, or heard it before, okay? And it's called The Giant of Gosfield. You see, many years ago, and not many people in Gosfield know that they had a giant, and they still don't know that there was once a giant living in their village, small town. Not very far from the county town, or now it's called a city, I believe, the county town come city of Guildford. Oh, it has a lovely river flowing through it called the River. Well, I don't know for what reason it was, and I don't think it really matters now, but the giant of Gosfield, for some reason, long forgotten in time perhaps, went out with the mayor of Chelmsford. For what reason? As I say, long time ago. I'm sure you're all aware that when we fall out with people, that we do tend to forget after time what it was all about and sort of put it behind us and get on with our lives. And that's exactly what the Mayor of Chelmsford did. They had this big argument about something or other, which you can't even remember what it was about. And the Mayor of Chelmsford put it behind him. Put it in the river, excuse me. But not the giant of Gosford. Oh, no. And that giant, big as he was, had a very, very big grudge. Between you and me, I don't really think that he remembered what it was about. But all he knew was he didn't like the Mayor of Chelmsford. And he thought he was so proud. So he stomps around, getting his idea together. The people in Chelmsford, they thought it was going to thunder. They thought it was a storm on the way. Thump, thump, boom, bang, boom. In fact, so convinced they were that there was a storm on the way and it was going to rain, they ran indoors and got their umbrellas. In fact, however, it wasn't a storm, although a sort of a storm was coming, depending on which way you look at it. It was the giant. And that giant, he then got struck on his idea. I know what I'll do. I will get my shovel, and my goodness me, it's a big shovel because I am a big giant. And I'll get my shovel and I'll dig up a big pile of earth. And what I'll do then, I'll go to Chelmsford and I'll go up. Or should I go downstream? He wasn't very bright, but he did work it out eventually. He went downstream, and his idea was to pile that big, big pile of dirt on the end of his big, big shovel into the River Chelmsford. It wound its way through the city. Therefore, by doing that, he would dam that river, and the river would flood. And with the flooding would come the drown, and he would drown the mayor of Chelmsford. And not only the mayor, oh no, it'd take them all out. Yeah, it'd drown all the people. And that was his plan. So he dug, did he not? Big hole. And there was this massive pile of earth on the end of his. And he started making his way towards Chelmsford. Well, those of you out there, and I know there's a few, who come, in fact, from Essex, live in Essex, you know full well, as will be explained to our visitors, that the mist quite often comes in from the North Sea, across the marshes, and comes in very, very quick. And so dense is that mist that you can't see the finger in front of your face. In fact, so dense it is, sometimes you can't even see the end of your nose. And that's what happened. The mist came in and covered the giant who was walking round with his big, big pile of dirt. I'm sure of you, many of you, perhaps all of you, have been called out sometimes when you've gone across moors and places and rather flat land, as Essex quite often is, and you get further north. Yeah. And the mist comes down and you get disorientated. You're not quite sure where's where. Is north there? South? No, it'd be east. Right? And this is what happened to the giant of Gosford. There he was, stuck in the mist. And what he thought, and you would think as well, that in a giant, he would see over the top of the mist, but no. And the mist was way from up there. It was so dense. I couldn't see as I told. Finger in front of your nose or even your. And that giant, he wandered around and around. Or he wandered, the tireder he got. And he was a bit of a lazy giant anyway. It was what my father used to call me quite often. Bone idle. Yeah, he didn't like work. And walking around with a shovel of dirt, well, he hadn't thought about that before he put the dirt on the shovel. Well, he certainly hadn't thought about the mist coming in. Wandered round. But do you know what? Again, as people here from Essex will tell you, and those visitors who might not know, as quick as the sea mist comes in, as quickly it lifts, and it's gone. And that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, the mist was no more, it was blue sky. It wasn't quite blue because we've been wandering around for quite some time. It was tending to get dark. And there he was, and there were no dogs there that he knew, none at all. And he just wandered around because he couldn't ask a dog. No. Just wandered around. Where am I? Wait. He thought to himself. And along the road came a little man. Not from Shropshire, from Essex. He came a little man with a sack on his. A giant looked down at him, and the little man looked up at him, and the giant looked down at him, and the little man looked up at him, and the giant said, "Oi, you." "Yes," said the little man with the sack on his back. "Where are you going?" "Oh, well, I'm going home," said the little man with the sack on his back. "Where's Chelmsford? I'm lost," said the giant. "Oh, Chelmsford? Well, over there. I've just come from Chelmsford." "How far is it?" "Oh, quite a long way." Tell me, said the little man with the sack on his back. "Why do you want to go to Chelmsford?" "Not really none of your business. I'll tell you anyway. You see this shovel full of dirt, which is getting heavier and heavier, even for me, a giant. I'm going to put it downstream in the River Chelmer, so that the river overflows. And the mayor, who I detest, can't think why, but I detest him, he will drown. And not only that, so will all the people in Chelsea. That's I want to know how far it is, because I'm going to this shovel full of the River Chelmer." Well, the little man with the sack on his back, he wasn't very keen on that idea. You see, he'd just come from Chelmsford, and as I said, he'd got a lot of friends there. And he thought very quickly, and then he looked up at that giant, and he said, "I'll tell you how far it is. I've just come from there, it's over that way. But I'll tell you how far it is before you go." And he took the sack off his back, and he emptied it there, in the middle of the road. And out of that poured boots, shoes, all manner of things, dog leads, anything that he, as a cobbler, a mender of shoes, a worker in leather, could mend and make. And then he reached down, did that little man, that cobbler, maker of shoes, that leather worker, he reached down and lifted up a boot. And in its sole was a hole. He said, "See that? That's one of my boots." Now, you might think he was telling a lie, but he wasn't, because as soon as his customers had passed over, the items be repaired. They, for that time, became his. So he wasn't really telling a lie. He said, that's my boot. The hole in it. That's how far it is to Chelmsford. And hang on just a minute. Hang on just a minute. He picked up a shoe. And then another shoe. On one shoe, the heel was all worn down. On the other shoe, another hole. He put those down. Picked up another shoe. There's a hole in the toe. Well, the giant, he stood there with that shovel full of dirt, looking at that little man, that cobbler, that mender of shoes, that working leather, holding up boots and shoes. Oh, and he also held up a dog seat, but that got nothing to do with it. And that giant said, well, I don't know. Then the cobbler said, can you see my shoes? A bit worn down, aren't they? Yeah. Well, they're all mine. That's, as I said, how far it is to Chelmsford. Oh. The giant looked down at his boots. They nearly wore. Oh no. Oh, where'd you come from? So he didn't know. Come from Gosfield. I'm the giant of Gos. Well, you'll be all right if you go back to Gosfield, because it's getting dark and Gosfield's nearer than Chelmsford. Perhaps you're right, said the giant. And with that, he dumped a big pile of dirt. And he scraped his boots on the edge of the shovel. He made his way. As I said, it was getting dark. In fact, by the time all this incident happened, it was near on pitch black. And that dog barking, it just reminded me it was raining cats. Well, literally, of course, because they'd run away, hadn't they? You can't cover cats and dogs. Yeah. He made his way there. And, you know, that rain, it pricked on his face, on his hands, his shoulders, like a leather man's needle. And he was crouching. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and then splash! He was in a massive great lake. And he couldn't swim. And he sank to the bottom. You might not believe that, is what I'm going to tell you now, but there is a lake in Gosfield. And it's said by at least one storyteller. That's how the lake was created, by a giant, the giant of Gosfield. He'd forgotten about that. He dug that big hole. Was it big? And in the darkness, through the rain, splash! He'd fallen in it, in his own hole of his own making, and drowned. If you go to Gosfield, as I'm sure you'll be tempted to do now, but you want to know where it is. As I say, it's just, well, not far from Chelmsford, just north of Chelmsford. Yeah. If you go there at night, you might hear the wind, or you think you hear the wind whistling through the reeds. Think again. It's the giant of Gosfield, screaming to be helped. If you should go further north from Gosfield, you'll come to a place called Hedingham. There, at Hedingham, there is a big mound of earth. And on top of that mound, on top of that mound, years ago, Aubrey de Vere, he built a castle, Hedingham Castle. Oh, it stands tall on that hill, at that mound of earth, where the giant put down his spade, his shoulder. If you should go there, and if you should wander around the castle grounds, at the back of the castle, even further north, there's another pile of earth. And that is said where the giant scraped his boots. Yeah, I can tell by your faces, you don't believe that. And what of the cobbler? The maker of shoes, the worker of leather? Well, worked in Chelmsford and mended all the shoes. In fact, kept all their feet dry, although it didn't flood. And he tells the story that I've just told. Some believe him. Some scratch their heads and don't believe him. Very much like that with stories. Don't you agree?
Thank you, Peter. When I was 15, I skated on that lake on wooden ice skates.
Right.
And it's I think 63 was particularly hard winter, and so in my misspent youth. Well, it's before I started misspending it. Actually, it was. But and indeed the lake was there, and I'm kind of glad that the giant didn't get out and crack the ice at that
That's
moment.
right. Hank, come up and grab hold of you, John. I think that I do believe that the actual story of the cobbler and the giant perhaps comes from Shropshire.
It does. But
I
you don't
like
spoil the story by telling that.
Oh, I don't.
The same story appears everywhere.
But I'd like to point out, yes, that we all have. I mean, there are. I'm sorry to say this, and I'm upset. Some people, there are some people who become very traditionalists about storytelling. It's got to be because it came from there. I don't agree with that. I don't know very much about Shropshire. I was stationed there, when I was in the army, and most of the time I was like that anyway. I sort of everything anyway. The point being that I believe in sort of I can work a story better if I can put myself in that situation, in that place. And I'm an Essex man, born and bred. So there you go. Right, another story then. Okay. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. Went the mantelpiece clock. At last, the man in the green suit realized he had a story to tell. So he rushed out. He rushed out so quick out that front door, he bumped into a chap and he knocked him over. Sorry, said the man in the green suit, but I'm so excited. Why is that? Said the man he'd nearly knocked over. Well, you see, said the man in the green suit. Story to tell. Have you? Yes. Yeah. Do you mind if I tell you? Certainly not. Certainly not. I'll be most interested to hear your story, said the man with the man in the suit had nearly knocked over. And the man in the green suit told the man who nearly knocked over the story. That was a lovely story, said the man who the man in the green suit had. I'm a storyteller, said the man who'd nearly been knocked over. And, well, do you mind if I have your story? And the man in the green suit, he paused for a moment and he pulled on the whiskers and he thought, no, 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 I don't mind at all, because that's what stories are for, aren't they? To share, to give to someone else. That is right, said the man. He nearly knocked over who was about the story. I'd be most grateful for that. Have your story? Oh yes, please, please, please. Yes, take it with you. Thank you, said the man, who had nearly been knocked over who gave him the story. And they parted company. The man in the green suit went inside. The storyteller disappeared over some hills. Anyway, the next day, on a village green, under a big spreading oak tree, there sat the storyteller, and he told his stories. And people who had children, their teenagers, grown men and women, sitting round, listening, not daring to breathe. The stories were so intriguing. Oh, he was a storyteller, indeed he was. And at the end of his performance, just before he finished, he told the story told to him yesterday by the man in the green suit. Well, when he told that story, as I'm sure you would do out there, they all put their hands together and they clapped. They shouted, hurrah, what a story. I never heard a story like that. You are wonderful. Not me, said the storyteller. I was told that story by the man in the green suit. He should be applauded. He gave me that story, and now I pass it on to you. It was just packing away when two people came up to me and they said, wow, we were enchanted. Enchanted. Those stories you told, they were wonderful. They took us to other lands, to other places. Do you know what? We've got to say it. And we've agreed together and spoke to him. The story you told, given to you by the grand man in the green suit, oh, that was tremendous. Oh, thank you for sharing. Would you mind if we told the story, because we are both storytellers? Of course not. Because as I said to the man in the green suit, that's what stories are for, is to share. Please, please, I'm sure the man in the green suit would be so very happy for you to have the story. And they took the story and they put them under their hats. And off they went. I'm sure you know what's going to happen next, because it became the next day. And now, in three village greens, I should say, under open trees of some sort, might have all been open trees. They're sat now in different places around the country. Three storytellers. They all did their performance. But they saved the best one. The best story that they'd heard in a long, long time. The story first told The man in the green suit. They saved that to the very end. And when they told their story, the story given to them by the man in the green suit to end their performance, there was rapturous applause and shouts of, wow, what story is that? That is wonderful. Sharing it, they were shouting. Well, I'm not going to prolong. Point being that eventually, in every village, on every village green, there were storytellers telling stories. And the one they always used at the end was the man first, the story first told by the man in the green suit. It seems, after some time, after a year or so, that everyone in the country knew the story. What an achievement. That's all but except the man in the green suit. Because, well, as some of you might realize, I see do now, my time alone, that we tend to forget things. We forget where we put our keys. We always blame it on someone else, of course we do. We forget things and, well, what more can I say? And when the man in the green suit just so happened to be out of his front door, and a story. Hey, do you know the story? Story that a long time ago was first told by a man in the green suit, just like you. No. Well, I'm a storyteller, and he told the story first told by the man in the green suit, but being so very forgetful, he didn't realize it was it. But you know what? So excited he was that now, to his mind, he had a story to tell, and he rushed indoors. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, went the man. How are we doing? Time for one more?
Time for one more. Of course there's time for one more. There's always time for one more. You're in my tent now.
Oh, right.
There's no bar that we can go to, so you might as well tell us another story. Bianca was going to take me for a drink after this, but you know, she's going to give me a little glass of Toika. But she can't.
Where actually?
We'll listen.
Where actually are you now? Where actually are you now?
I'm not nowhere romantic. I'm in.
No, right.
I'm in Swindon, down the road from Stephanie, and so I got locked down in. I'd like to be on top of my mountain in Romania, but my mountain, like I said, my mountain, king of the mountain, and but I'm here, so.
You're there.
But it doesn't matter. We might as well. I might as well be in New Mexico with Bob.
You might as well.
It doesn't make any difference, does it? While we're in this bit. Yeah. Next time, next time I'm over, and so time for one more story. And Bob, maybe you could do a story sometime on the cafe. Okay. We'll talk to each other in place. But we're in the middle of a show now. Can't have this conversation yet. I've got to give back to it's Peter's night.
Right.
So I'm giving it back to Peter.
I've just explained to you people out there and you guests as well. You know, all guests, aren't you? We're all guests. that John was saying about our meeting at one time at Felix and what have you, and it reminded me of the first time I actually met John, and he will remember, I'm sure, that we were on a course for adult education, and we were at Thaxted.
Oh yes.
Do you remember
With
that?
the man Zeke.
That's right.
Yeah, Zeke and I nearly got kicked out as well, but that's a different
but we won't go
story.
into that detail. We'll leave that out, John. I remember what it was, but we won't go there.
No,
All right, let's go on to the next story. There were a young couple, well, youngish, and what's that mean? Oh, sorry, Jane, the same. Yeah, this youngish anyway. And they'd known each other. They'd known each other for years, since being tiny, played together, and well, they were the greatest of friends. They went through school together, and they never ever lost contact. Yeah, in their teen years, well, they play in the woods, and they used to run through the wheat and the barley and the corn when it was at what I call a decent height. Yes, you could lose yourself in it. And not these days, it's stubborn as far as I'm concerned, all this ecology. No, what happened to a good old romp in the hay or some romp in the corn or whatever? No, it's all gone now. You've seen straight away. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough. But I do miss that. I mean, it's lovely, wasn't it, to see it sway in the wind. You don't get any of that now. Anyway, I don't. Eventually, well, they got engaged. Oh, they were in love. And, well, one thing led to the other, of course, and they were very lucky. They managed to purchase a little cottage by a river. Not the River Chelm, I hasten to add, but another river. Yep. Idyllic it was. Yeah, I'm going to dress it up a bit. Have roses around the door and all that sort of thing, and lattice windows. That's why not? It's a story. I can do what I like with it. Windows broken if I wanted to. I'm not going to. They're lovely. Glass. It was ideal to be by the river because, well, we'll call her Kim. I'm not sure if that was the name, but I'm going to be able to remember that. In fact, in case I get the muddle, I'm going to write that down now. We'll call her Kim. That's right, Kim. Okay. Kim, well, she, like me, she loved to swim. Yeah, I myself, I'm down the beach every day. I can get down there with the tides in. I mean, she was the same. She was addicted to swimming. She loved to swim. And, well, John, we're calling John. I'm writing down in case I forget talking. Right, John, he couldn't, but he liked to watch. He liked to watch Kim. Was Kim? Yeah, liked to watch Kim swimming. But he wasn't one for swimming. He'd never learned. Although I understand. Happens, doesn't it? Some people like to swim, some people don't. They were very much. One of his pursuits was to go out in his rowing boat and do some fishing. But Kim always said to him, I made sure, because he could be forgetful, to wear a life jacket because he couldn't swim. Anyway, his boat was always there, little rowing boat, nothing spectacular. Big metal stake in the ground so it didn't drift up in any current. And he'd be out there, and he loved it out there. And Kim used to watch him. Yeah. And, well, days went past. One day, she went to look for him. Kim went to look for John. Looked out over the river and not there. The river. Oh, he'll be all right. He's got his life jacket on. And he was. No problem at all. He came rowing back. He'd been round the bend in the river. She did say to him, well, where will you be? I was worried because she was ready. And, I just ventured up. The fishing wasn't too good where I was. It's just inside of you. And I went round the bend and no, I rode around the bend. It was better. Oh, how much did you catch? Oh, well, they bit, but they got away. Oh, 1 second. The next day, he rode out. Boy, ropes off. Metal stake. Come on. Yeah. And he's out there for a while. And Kim did bars and things like that. And things that wives have to do on us gentlemen. And she looked up out of the window, and he wasn't there. She looked in the corner, and his life jacket wasn't there. So she thought, oh, I'd be safe if you. She got on with her business. Came to nightfall, and he moored up. He'd taken off his life jacket, and he said to him, any better round the bend of the river? Oh, yes, yeah, not better. And she looks in the boat. Well, where are the fish? Oh, well, it's better, but I just haven't got, they're obviously much bigger. I haven't quite got the knack of actually holding them in, so to speak. That's rather strange, she said. You don't normally have much. Oh, you've been fishing for years. Yeah, but there are different fish here. I'm starting to sweat a bit. I don't know why, but, well, we'll find out, I'm sure. The next day, he's up bright and early. And out he was on the boat and rowing as fast as he could for the bend in the river and disappeared. Kim, it was something, woman's intuition, they call it, I think. Yeah, my wife's got plenty of that, I tell you. That rhymed to it. Yeah. She decided to go and see exactly where he was fishing round the corner, round the bend of the river. She made her way down the towpath. She went round that bend, and there he was, John, her husband, who'd grown up with her. They'd grown up together. They'd loved each other. They'd played together. Married. And now he was in the arms of another. She concealed herself and watched too long. She didn't. She made her way back through the undergrowth down the towpath to a cottage. That evening, John came home. How did you get on with your fishing? Oh, well, yeah, I got one. Indeed, he had. He had taken time out to catch fish. Only one. Oh, yes. But I'm lucky, aren't I? They got that because they are a bit awkward, those fishes up there, as I told you. Oh, yeah. Now come in. Have your tea. They're bloody clever, aren't they, women? Don't they? They try and they conceal it, don't they? And you feel confident, don't you? Well, that's your business if you've ever, but yes, whatever we've been up to, they've called us out about something or other. Yeah, well, hang on. No, she's still in the kitchen. That's all right. Love her dearly. Anyway, the next morning, Kim is up before he is. Yeah. And she hides the life jacket. And she takes the stake, the metal stake out of the ground, pulls the rope door, and just where you can't see under the back seat, she pushed a stake straight to the bottom of the boat. The stake back, tied up. Well, John eventually gets up. Oh, hugs and kisses, goodbye, and words of love, and I'll miss you when I'm out there fishing. Oh, yeah. I love you too, said Kim. Where's my life jacket? Oh, you'll be all right. Right. Go on. You haven't needed it all these years. Go on. It's somewhere. I've put it somewhere. She said, don't worry about it. Are you sure? Yes, go on. You'll be okay. You go. And he did. Without his life jacket. Because he couldn't swim, couldn't he? Needed a life jacket. He hadn't gone too far out into the middle of the river. And it was quite a wide river. And it was very deep. When the boat started going down and down and down until the water was over the gunnels and was rising up his body, and he started shouting, help, help, help. His wife carried on with help, help. And then there was a knocking on the door. Yes. And one of the neighbours came in. He must have, he was out of breath because they lived quite apart from the next house. John, your husband, he's drowning, he's shouting for help. Is he? Out of my way. And she ran and she ran and she ran down to that bank and drew out all his money. I'll leave you with that one.
Thank you, Peter. And on that is wonderful. What a great ending. Well, thank you, Peter. And
thank you for inviting me.
Well, and
I was very, as you know, I was very nervous about this. Very nervous. But I'm getting used to it. All right, I'm getting used to it.
You're getting. We're all. I mean, that's the thing. Since at the beginning of all this, 3 months ago, people were very shy about going on Zoom.
Yeah.
People that would stand in front of an audience of thousands, you know, were terrified of the machine. And there's now everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm zoomed out, mate."
Yeah. I find the comparison. I found the comparison is that when I'm shaving here and here, well, I've always been attracted to mirrors. In fact, when I'm shaving, it takes me hours to get out of a morning because of that bloody mirror. And this is just the same, really, isn't it? I love looking at myself.
Oh, it's a very fine hat. Right. Anyway, has anyone else got a comment or question or anything else for Peter before we send him back to the Essex marshes with all those, because it's difficult to get out. I tell you what, back in the 60s when there was still herring running around the East Coast. My dad was in charge of ship's company at HMS Ganges at the.
Oh right, yeah,
yeah. So that's
always sailors.
Yeah.
So,
but it was but there was obviously a ship's company there of proper grown up sailers, right?
Real
and one of them was from the Essex marshes, and if you want to communicate, you sent a telegram, and he got a telegram from an able seaman saying permission to extend leave. The herring are running. And if you lived on the marshes, every able-bodied man had to go out and go on the boats in those days.
The Dengie marshes, isn't it, John? Aren't they called the Dengie marshes? Aren't they?
What? He was down Essex way.
Yeah, I think they're called the Dengie marshes out that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right, Shane?
It is, yeah. Beyond Malden and towards Burnham.
Right. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Tolshont Darcy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, around that.
Claire and I. Claire listened to the first story, but she's been doing some other bits. But Claire and I, we went to Goldhanger. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? And we found loads of samphire on the beach. So we cut some samphire and brought it back, and that was delicious.
Trouble is, Bob, when you get these Essex boys rattling on, you know, they can't. You know, everyone thinks that Essex is high heeled stilettos, but in fact, it's marshlands. It's marshlands and woods, and where Peter is, which is Leon Sea, which is definitely not Southend. And
definitely not Southend.
There's mud flats, and there's these little gangways that go across to boats and across to all the people who live on the boats out there. So it's kind of the opposite of New Mexico. It's not dry. It's not over 100 degrees where it is where you are right now. Well, Peter, that has been a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. I love it.
Can we all give Peter one round? And before we do that final round of applause, there will be a hat somewhere on the site. You can drop him £1 or $1, depending on where you are. And we've got some great stuff coming up on for those that everyone in this group knows what's coming up, but there will be people, the thousands that are listening elsewhere. We've got the 6 o'clock, so we've got loads of good stuff going on for children with chip and so forth. But the 6 o'clock sets for there'll be the stories from we're truly international. The cafe clock in Marrakesh tomorrow night, and then Friday. And I did actually get
we
the phone
have
up
a
so I
2
could
p.m.
read
2 p.m. on Friday. It's Paro with children set.
She's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. It's all 6 o'clock. I'm only announcing the 6 o'clock, or else I get confused. So Paranand, I don't know whether you caught the other day. It'd be worth if you didn't. It's fantastic set to catch up to. But she's back doing lighter stuff for children. But she's even if it's just for children, she's worth a look. And on Saturday, so Paro's in India, and on Saturday we've got Sarah Lloyd Winder, and on Sunday at 6 o'clock for our international, which is always international, we've got Sharon Carr from your side of the Atlantic, Bob. And Monday we've got a live set with people that called Recovery's Got Talent, which is people that have been through extreme difficulties and then are doing their own poetry and stories and so forth as a concert, because they can't do one live at the moment because of lockdown. So it's an exciting week. We've got Mike down in the corner there, and Mike, we always have to thank you at the end of a set, because without Mike there was no World Storytelling Cafe. It's Mike and Lucy's wife. It's their inspiration. So
there certainly wouldn't be one without you, John.
Oh, let's all congratulate each other. Anyway, so anyway, come back. Now we've got you, Bob. We'll have you back, and I'll message you, and we'll work out. We definitely need a set from you, and so even if you don't want to do one, you'd be happy to do a set, would you?
I would, and just even more than that, I'm just really delighted to discover this group.
Yeah, well, you found it on that Storytelling Facebook site, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that's where it was.
Yeah. Because you described it as an Aladdin's cave, which will please Mike, because he does use that lamp quite a lot.
Welcome, that we do. That's why the lamp is there.
An Aladdin's cave of stories. I saw your Facebook
smorgasbord.
I think it was in the cave.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So anyway, once more, Peter, we'll bring Peter to the fore because it is his night, and it's been great, Peter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Peter.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming.
Peter. And see you in about half an hour, 40 minutes at the other show.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I've got. I think I might change my hat. We've got
would.
Taps and Tails, Justin Demir, Taps and Tails there. Danny, we would normally be in a pub in Woodbridge, up the road
Yeah.
from Essex,
Fine.
and the King's Head. So I'll pretend I'm in the King's Head. I don't even think I've left myself a beer, but I could have a whiskey. And we could pretend we're in the King's Head, and that's half an hour. So I better get ready. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you.
All right, thanks
Bye-bye.
again. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.